Chit Chat with Arike. I am Arike Jayoba, and like I usually say, it is a pleasure to come to your hearings again. Yes, it is a pleasure to come to your hearings again. So hope you all have been good. Hope you all have been doing fine. Hope you all have been having fun despite the ups and downs that we all must go through in one way or the others. In one way or the other. Hope you all have been having fun. If you haven't, please do because in this life, problem is not the finish. Kick it to the giant. Yes, problem doesn't end. We just have to put them aside and have fun and enjoy this one single life that we all have come. Yes, so let's go straight into what we have today. Like I have titled today's episode, it is a book review and point of view. Yes, it is a book review and point of view. So before those that are not into books, who do not read books, back out and be like, I'm not interested. Let me say this. The same way we have some movies that we all need to watch. Yes, the same way we have some movies that we all need to watch, not because they only entertain, but these are movies that did not just entertain you, they educate you. This is the same way we have some books that we all need to read. We all need to read all these books because they will not just entertain you, they will lift your spirit, they will change your perspective about things. You will have a whole lot of things to pick from it. You will feel a whole lot of emotion just by reading the book. So this book I'm about to do a review on is one of those books. Yes, it is a book by Colleen Hoover. Let me quickly say something about Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover is one of my favorite writers. She's one of my favorite writers. I love her writing. I love her point of view. I love the way I think she thinks outside the box. I love the way she doesn't give the normal, usual storylines. You can never, ever read a Colleen Hoover book and not be stuck. Yes, she's so very good at what she does, and I believe that woman deserves all the old flowers in this world because she's super good at what she does. So I am going to be doing a review and point of view on one of her books titled Heart Bones. Yes, titled Heart Bones. Trust me, Heart Bones is a very big book. It is a huge book. It's a very good book. It's not just a book that you would read and be entertained alone. You'll be entertained. It will change your perspective about things. You have you feel a whole lot of emotions. Trust me, it is a very great book. Okay, let me talk about some things that I was able to grab from reading the book. Number one, I was able to grab that you do not judge people. Yes, you don't judge people because you don't know what they have been through or what they are going through in their life. You don't know what they have been through or what they are going through in their life. So it is super wrong for us, for people, to judge other people. And number two, another thing I'm able to pick is you do not take dark people serious. And what I mean by dark people now is we have some people that they have darkness in them. So because they have darkness in them, the only thing they only see in you, they don't see the light in you. They only see the darkness in you, and they only have to talk about the darkness in you. And they do that because they are trying to mask their own darkness and feel better about their own darkness in one way or the other. So if you're someone who isn't smart, you will fall for their nonsense and then feel devastated when they have to, because they will not see the light in you. They just want to see the darkness because they're trying to mask their own darkness. And another great thing that I learned from this book is that that no matter how worst you think your situation is, no matter how bad you think your life is, there is someone out there who is having a worse situation than you are having. So by the time you already know that. It helps you to live. It helps you to feel okay. It helps you to know that you are not the only person in this condition. You have other people that are doing worse than you are. Though you might be showing it internally and externally, but these people are people that might not show it externally, but internally they are damaged. So you might feel like, okay, I'm the worst. I'm having the worst life, but no, there are people out there having something worse than what you are having, going through something worse than what you're having. So because of that, by the time you know that, you feel like, okay, I can live, I can do well in life, I'm still doing fine, I'm still better than some people. Yes, so let me go straight into the book. The book introduced a character named Bia. Bia was a product of a one-night stand Bia was a product of a one-night stand, and she lived with her mother in a small town where they lived in a trailer. Unfortunately for Bia's mother was an addict. She was addicted to men, addicted to gambling, addicted to alcohol. So because of all these, she wasn't taking full responsibilities on her child. So Bia wasn't well taken care of by her mother. And her father, on the other hand, wasn't taking full responsibilities as well because he wasn't there. Though they usually get in touch, he usually called her once in a while. But he was not taking full responsibility as a father. So because of the shortcomings of Bia's parents, her life was super ugly. She had to do a whole lot of silly things just to be alive. She had to make a whole lot of bad decisions because she had no other choice. And then even feeding herself wasn't easy. Sometimes she would have to feed on what is not food just to have something in her stomach. So her life wasn't pretty at all. But she was working hard. She was working hard to be a great person, to be successful on her own. And she had already earned herself a volleyball scholarship, which she'll be going for by August. But unfortunately for her mother died. So when her mother died, there was no other place for her to stay, and there was nothing else for her to do than to call her father, who she did not want to get involved, but she had no other choice. She called her father, but she didn't tell the man that her mother died. She lied to him that she missed him and she would want to come spend some time with him. So her father booked her a ticket, and she flew to Texas, where they went to live at his wife summer house at the beach. So when she got there to the house, she met Sarah. Sarah was her stepsister, and she also met Samson. Yes, she met Samson. The meeting with Samson was super dramatic. I'm not going to make mention of how they met, but their meeting was super dramatic. She met Samson. So because it happens that Samson lived close to their house, and it also happened that Samson was a friend to Marcus. Marcus was Sarah's boyfriend. So because Samson was a friend to Marcus, Sarah was trying to click Bia and Samson together. But because of the experience Bia had with men where she was coming from, she wasn't really interested. But to cut a long story short, Bia and Samson started to get along. Bia and Samson started to get along, though their getting along started as a result of the fact that he had seen her at her worst moment twice, and he also overheard her speaking ill of her stepsister to a friend over the phone, which he was not cool about. So she had no choice than to explain things to him and clear things so she wouldn't be looking like a bad person to him. That was how they kind of started their getting close relationship somehow. But one thing Bia noticed about Samson was that Samson was super secretive. Like simple questions that meant no harm, that he should be able to give answers to. He was always telling her no. Like questions like, where did you grow up? Tell me about your parents. Tell me about the 5 houses your parents own on the beach. Because he claimed that his parents owned 5 houses around the beach. Though he once told her that he doesn't feel like the houses are his home or something like that. But he was always super secretive. So because of his being the way he was being secretive, Bia could tell that something was wrong with him. Like internally, something was wrong with him. She could tell that it was damaged. She could tell it was damaged, but she didn't know what was wrong with him exactly because he wasn't opening up. But one of the things that she was able to get from him was when she asked about the necklace he usually wear, and then he said that there was a fisherman. He explained to her that there was a fisherman that who usually come around the beach. The name of the fisherman was Rick. So he said Rick was a poet who usually write poems for people and give to people. So there was a year when Hurricane hit, and he went missing and was nowhere to be found. Then he said after some years he found his boat, and out of his boat he made himself a necklace. So that was how the necklace came about. Bia could tell that something was wrong, but because he wasn't opening up, she also wasn't forcing him to open up. On her own part, her life was getting easier. Her life was getting better than the way it was where she was coming from. Things was getting easy. She was getting comfortable. And on herself and Samson, they were trying to avoid a relationship. They were actually trying to avoid a relationship because after summer they would be going their different ways. They would be going into the Air Force Academy, and she would be going for a volleyball scholarship. So they were trying to avoid a serious relationship since they would be going different paths. Though Samson was the one hammering on the fact that they'll be going different ways more than she was. But to cut the long story short, they decided to have fun and then just date. So they decided to have fun and date themselves. So they started a relationship. So they started a relationship, and Bia told him about the death of her mother and also her volleyball scholarship, which she still didn't tell her father. And he also told her about the death of his mother. His mother died when he was 5 years old. She died in the water. So their relationship was going fine. And one of the things that I love about their relationship is their deep conversations. Yes, they usually have deep conversations. And one of the conversations they had that I love was when she asked him how it felt like to be rich, since she lived most of her own life being poor. And the response he gave to her was that poor people still have things, goals, dreams that excite them. They have places they want to go to, but unlike the rich people, they don't have things that excite them because they have the money to do all these things. This part of the conversation made me remember the last part of Squid Game. For anyone that have watched Squid Game, the part where the man went to meet the old man at the hospital and was asking him why himself and his friend decided to set up a deadly game. And then the man said because they were bored, they've done a whole lot of things that they were excited about and they had nothing to do to excite them anymore. So that was the reason they decided to set up the game. So one of the things I love about Bia and Samson's relationship is their deep conversations. So their relationship was going well and smooth until Bia's dog. Did I even make mention that Bia had a dog? Yes, Bia had a dog. Until Bia's dog dug out a dead body from the ground. They actually went to the beach that night. It was late, so they went. When they were ready to go back home, they couldn't find the dog. So when they looked for the dog, they found out that he had dug out a dead body from the ground. So when Samson moved closer to the body, he found out that it was Rick's body. So when they found out that it was Rick's body, Bia suggested they call the police and inform them, but Samson was against it. He felt like he should do the burying of the body himself, since the police would just throw his dead body into the water. And so he decided to bury the body. Though Bia didn't really support it, but she let him have his way, and she knew that there was more to Rick's story than what she was told. But she didn't question him. She just added the question she would like to ask him about Rick. So the list of questions she had been keeping. She had been keeping a list of questions he had been avoiding. She had been keeping the list for him to answer. So she added the question to the list of questions she had been keeping. So he did the burying of Rick's body by himself. To cut the long story short again, they decided to make love. But Samson was against it. It was like if he had told her a whole lot of things about himself, then she would not be accepting to have sex with him. But Bia felt like he was being dramatic, that there was nothing, his life shouldn't be that serious to the extent that she would not want to have sex with him. So they decided to have sex. And then he promised that by the time they woke up the next morning, that he would be telling her a whole lot of things and be answering her questions. But unfortunately, the next morning they were woken up by the police, and Bia was surprised. She was scared. She actually thought it was because of the body they found, the body, Rick's body. But it turned out that it was not because of that. They were taken to the police station. Bia called for her father. Her father went with them. So when they got to the police, Bia was actually taken for questioning, because the police actually came for Samson. So when they got to the police station, they found out that the house Samson was claiming was his parents wasn't his parents' house. And also the 5 houses he said belonged to his parents wasn't his parents' house. He actually broke into the house he was staying in. So he was charged for a whole lot of crimes. But most of the crimes he was charged for was actually breaking into people's houses. One of the houses he broke into caught fire. Though the house caught fire because of the faulty electrical work. But if he didn't break into the house and switch on the light, the house wouldn't have caught fire, so he was charged for setting the house ablaze. Bia was bailed. Bia's father, Marcus, Sarah, they were disappointed. They blamed themselves for allowing Bia to move closer to him, for clicking them together. They were blaming themselves. They had a whole lot of bad things to say about Bia. Bia was the only person that did not criticize him, that did not judge him. So she waited till when he was allowed to receive visitors. So she went back to him. Then when she got back to him, that was when he told her about that his father was Rick. Rick the fisherman was actually his father. And of course, they had already told her that his mother died when he was 5 years old, and his father died when he was 13 years old. And even when they were both alive, the only thing he knew they had was a boat, and that was the same boat hurricane swept away. So by the time that was when he found the boat, he made himself a necklace out of the boat. So that was the only thing his parents, even when they were alive, he knew they had was a boat. And they both died. One when he was 5 years old, the father when he was 13 years old. So he was all by himself. So when Bia heard his story, things he has been through, bad choices he had to make, crazy things, this part of the book actually made me understand that not everybody has the opportunity to have choices or even choice at all. So she could understand things. She could understand things he had been through. So she went to her father with the hope of speaking him into helping him out. But her father was disappointed that why would you be supporting someone that has done a whole lot of bad things? That was what got her annoyed. That was when she was forced to tell her father crazy things she had also done, how she had to steal just because she had no money to buy the things she need. How her mother was an addict. She told him that was when she told him that her mother had died. Told him how she had to be sleeping with a particular guy just because he was giving her money in return. So she told him she was angry, made him know that she had also made bad decisions, not because she wanted to, but because she had no other choice. So, but despite everything she told her father still wasn't in support of helping Samson. They were still against him. So they all turned their back against him. It was only Bia that stayed. Bia stayed. This is the part of the book where you feel a whole lot of emotions. Bia stayed, and she stayed not because of the relationship they were in. She actually stayed because she could understand. She understood what it felt like to be alone. She had once been there. What it felt like to be alone. What it felt like to trying to survive all by herself without having anyone around. That was the main reason she stayed. She almost didn't want to go for a volleyball scholarship, but Samson made her promise that she would go, that it would not be the reason she wouldn't go for something she had worked very hard for. But despite the fact that she went for the volleyball scholarship, he was in prison. So, but despite the fact that she went for the volleyball scholarship, she got him a lawyer. She kept in touch. She made sure that the lawyer was helping him, helping him fight it, helping him get out. And at the end of the story, which I'm not going to give too much details, she actually got out. Yes, she actually got. Trust me, Act Bones is a very, very great book, which I would love you to go read by yourself. So, if you would like me to do more of these, comment that below in the comment section below. If you would love to listen to me do more of book reviews, comment that in the comment section below. So it is time to wrap up and say goodbye. Till I come to your hearings again, be good, live, and do not forget to smile. I love you.